Hey guys, it's Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast, and man, dark Tuesday as the New York Knicks made some wholesale changes and firing head coach Tom Thibodeau. This comes from Shams. New York Knicks are relieving Tom Thibodeau of his duties as head coach. Sources tell ESPN Thibodeau led the Knicks to their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years, made the playoffs in 4 of 5 years, and led Knicks to consecutive 50-plus win seasons for the first time since the 1990s. And they decided to go ahead and axe this guy. I don't know what to think of this. I'm gonna try to come up with some ideas as to maybe why. I going into these playoffs, I definitely thought that Tom Thibodeau was coaching for his job. I really did. I was like, yo, he has to get to the second round, if not the conference finals. But he had to go through Detroit. Detroit was a tough series. They get through that. Okay, they get through Boston. Okay, and then the Eastern Conference Finals. I said, you know what? I know he is a stern coach. He really emphasizes on defense, grit, grind. But he's earned the ability, I thought, to be the head coach next season. Okay, and give it another crack at it. But at the same time, the way these playoffs ended, I was like, well, if Tom Thibodeau, I wasn't advocating for Tom Thibodeau to get fired. But I was like, you need to bring in some type of offensive-minded assistant coach to be the quote-unquote offensive coordinator. Okay? And they just said, you know what? They just said, scrap that and go ahead and fire him. I think Tom Thibodeau is a good coach, but he does wear his players thin. And the fact that he didn't want to play deep into his bench until later in the postseason, it cost them, right? And you know what I'm saying? If you're giving Shannon more runs, okay, if you were giving McBride just a little bit more runs, you know what I'm saying? Other guys on the bench, I forgot a couple of players, but, you know, they could have probably contributed and helped this team, right? I mean, you see in the NBA now is that you need a full team and you need to be able to go deep in your bench. That's where the NBA is trending. It seems like it's going to be a copycat league in that regard. There was a stat out there saying that, you know, the Knicks starters played like 700 more minutes than the Pacers starters, something to that effect, equating to like 10 or 15 games more. Problem, right? You heard Mikal Bridges in the season. They try to brush it over about the lack of minutes. Mikal Bridges alluded to more players needing to play. Even though Mikal Bridges is an Iron Man, doesn't complain, right? There's so many factors as to why the Knicks lost, and I can't put it all on Tom Thibodeau, but you can point to data points that he didn't do himself any favors, but overall the team collectively overachieved, and you don't get a chance to run it back. Now, what coach is available? I mean, are they looking at Mike Malone possibly to come in? But Mike Malone wears his players thin as well. He wears out on teams. Okay, I don't know of another coach that's available that's gotten fired recently. Maybe the Grizzlies coach, the ex-Grizzlies coach, I forgot his name. Maybe they might like him. What's his name? Grizzlies ex-head coach. What is it? Taylor Jenkins, right? Could Taylor Jenkins be that guy? Right? Could he be the one to come in? To be the next head coach of the New York Knicks. David Fizdale, right? Could he be another guy, right? Who is the guy that's going to come in and bring in this offensive philosophy to help the New York Knicks get over the hump? You know, I mean, Dave Fizdale is already he's already head coach of the New York Knicks. I mean, maybe not Fizdale, not doing such a hot job as an assistant in Phoenix, right? Who's going to be that guy? Man, I feel bad for Tom Thibodeau. You know, the team every year was making progress. Okay. They get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I mean, there's a lot of chitter chatter about Karl Anthony Towns' lack of defense, and the Knicks. It seemed like the Knicks organization players that were complaining about Towns' defense. I mean, I get it. There was some like now they want to complain about his defense in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? I'm not saying that Towns could have been better on defense. Yes, he could have been. Many bad defensive plays, but he didn't quit. He didn't quit on his team. He gave it everything he got. Okay, it worked this year with Brunson. They just didn't get to the NBA Finals, and I think just the Knicks overall are upset because they haven't been to this level of promised land in a long time. And you're going up against the Pacers. Now, the Pacers weren't a weak opponent by any stretch. But I think many people felt that the Knicks should have fared well in that series and end up being in the NBA Finals. And they're upset because they don't know if they're going to get back to this spot next year. You know, I think they can get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, considering that Boston is weaker. But so now I guess they're positioning themselves to If you're not going to get Giannis, I don't know where this Giannis sweepstakes is coming in from. But they don't have any pieces to really give, and I don't think they have anything that the Milwaukee Bucks want. So you have to run it back with this team, and in order to run it back with this team, you're going to have to make institutional changes, and that starts with the head coach. It's unfortunate that Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. He is an old school coach, but not necessarily an offensive-minded coach at all. And I think that, Jalen Brunson just dominating the ball and one-on-one basketball with lack of ball movement is not good. The Pacers beat him on assists, ball movement nonstop. Beat him on minutes. Didn't have to play that many minutes compared to the Knicks. Beat him to 6. And then dropping those 2 games at home was bad. Was really bad. But I mean, we're grading Tom Thibodeau on a very, very, very finite scale at him being, because he's in the conference finals. So we're going to judge him a lot harsher. And I think that's what the Knicks are doing here. We're not looking at totality, right? Would I made a decision? I don't think so. But they went ahead and did that because they're New York, and they didn't like the fact that they got exited the way they did to the Pacers. And I'm sure they believe that they had a really good shot at being in the NBA Finals after having been to the NBA Finals since 1999. This is the perfect opportunity to. And everybody today, this week, has been talking about how much they've squandered that. And of course, the Knicks front office, they hear and see everything, and having those internal discussions as well too. Tom Thibodeau was already on the chopping block. I think that they just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, because if anything came short of not getting back to the conference finals next year, he was going to get fired, in my opinion. He was already coaching on the margins, I felt, but I also felt that he earned himself another year. But like another year, I mean, what's that going to do? Not really much security, right? He was already going to be a coach on the hot seat next season. Crazy to say that for a coach who was just in Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm going based off the rumblings that was happening during the regular season. And then in the postseason, he performed as a head coach, okay, up until he ran into the Eastern Conference Finals and lost. Fine, but you surpassed expectations. But yet they still feel they got to make household changes, which means that they were going to do this. So they just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, and just not have Tom Thibodeau coach under. Because if the season goes south any kind of way next season, or if they start out slow, he's gonna get fired. And I think that's what was going on here. Anyways, guys, y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.